Well, good morning. We're back in VP4. I say good morning because it's 1:30 a.m. On Thursday morning, the 27th. I think it's the 27th of February 2020. And we're here for another match in the VP4 8-Ball World Championship. It's another one-loss side match, and it's another match with Larry, and he's going to be playing acero in a race to 9. And the room should be going up any second now. Both players have just arrived. And, well, Larry is playing acero after beating off Stubb last night. And Stubb quitting before Larry potted the final ball. Unsportsmanlike as usual. And this promises to be a good match between Larry and acero. Larry ending up in the one-loss side by being beaten in a final rack decider against a guy called Marvin, who I've never seen play, but I saw him winning that final rack though, and he might be a dark horse. He's from the UK. I don't know whether he's somebody that used to play VP in the past. The room is up, both players are in, and there's no lag for break. It's just a coin flip. There's no jump cues either. And acero at the table. Well, it looks as if he won the coin flip, and a couple of balls have gone down, and it's still an open table. And I will be back in 2 seconds. Just get right, we're back. So acero has chosen the solids, and there's not a solid ball on the rail, so he's looking to run out here. Now the last ball he doesn't want to leave is the 2 ball. That 2 ball up there, that's not in the best of places to be able to get on the 8 ball, and he may well take the 2 now. And if he then gets a good angle on this 5, he can stun down, but he needs to avoid running into the 13 to try and get on that 8 ball. Got to be careful. I think he's a bit straight on this 2 ball. That might be the problem. Yep, he's trying to get the cue ball out and he hasn't got there. So now he's left it tough. And Larry might have a chance here to steal this first rack, provided acero. Well, it's not a problem if he pots this 5. He might skim off the 13 into the middle, and he's just avoided that. Well, Larry has his chance, but the immediate problem for Larry is those 2 balls in the side rail. And he's going to, well, roll the 10 in, but he's got to deal with that pink stripe. That one there, the 12 ball. Now if he pots the 9, he would want to leave this 12 ball if he can get the angle on it. Now is he going too far? No, he's okay. He can just drop it through and he'll be on the 13. So it looks then it's going to be the 8 ball into the top left to win this first rack. Now I doubt very much if anybody is going to be watching this, but we are streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer and Smashcast, and I've never had anybody on here from Smashcast. I don't think anybody uses that platform at all, but I've certainly had nobody on here from there. I've had nobody on here from Mixer either, so I'm thinking I'm going to ditch those two and just keep it with YouTube, Twitch and Facebook, because I at least get the odd one or two people from all of those. So Larry's completed the job, wins the first rack, breaks open rack number 2, and he's got a ball in the break again. Still an open table, of course, until he makes his commitment to that second ball. And we've got blocking balls to deal with. That one there, for example, the 2 is blocking the 11, and Larry's hung up the 3. So we've got a bit of a mess here, as we're always going to have. I mean, it's very difficult to get a good break on a table this size with a full rack of 15 balls. In the match last night with Larry and Stubb, I think there was one break that I can remember where the balls actually broke very nicely, but apart from that, most of them were a bit like this, messy and troublesome and awkward. And acero trying to improve the situation there, but didn't get a great deal of luck. And now he's got a problem ball at the top end, but if he can roll through here, I don't know whether he's straight enough to roll through it. The angle he's got in the 10, he might be able to pot the 10 and skim just down to get rid of that 14 ball, but I don't think he likes it. And now it's even more of a problem. He's nudged the 1, and the 14 is pretty much inaccessible where it is. And the other thing is, whoever does get to the 8 ball, the 8 ball's not in a great position either, so that 8 ball will be difficult to make a cut on it without fouling onto that 2 ball. So with the angle that acero has, he can certainly get the cue ball up the table. He just needs a bit of luck here. He might play it gentle to try and at least leave a shot on that 10 ball in the middle of the table. He's looking at the 10 ball first though. Well, he's just had a bit of a wild shot there. The 10 ball might have been the better ball to play second last going up the table. That way you can get the cue ball somewhere up amongst those balls, but he can't do that now, of course, and he's not got a shot. He's blocked off by the 7, can't get to the 15 ball, and looks as if he's going to try and, well, he's called a pocket, but He's looking to kick this 15. And that's a good shot. Excellent shot. But of course, there's the problem. That's a good call and a good kick. And now, how does he keep this safe? Because the other problem that I forgot about is the 12 ball. It's out of commission as well. So Acero just looking to improve the 14, and he's not really done that. He's made sure that Larry can't run out here unless Larry gets some sort of hit on those 3 balls at the top end of the table. Oh, good evening, Andy. I didn't think we would have anybody on at this time of night, and I'm barely awake. So mistakes will come thick and fast at this time in the morning. And fortunately for me, I've got another day off tomorrow. But more than likely, we'll get a few views on this tomorrow night when people find out that Larry's played his match with Acero. And Acero just trying to tuck that cue ball away. But now, let's have a quick look. Well, that 14 is now accessible. You can certainly make the cut in a 14. And there's a strong likelihood that if you do get to the position to make the cut in a 14, you're going to split that 8 ball. Now, did Larry call the bank there? If he did, that's a good shot. I never even know he's made the missed call, so he didn't call the bank. So Acero at the table. Now I think he needs to chance his arm here. He can cut that ball into the right middle pocket, and the cue ball's going to run up towards a 7. And he might get lucky and just brush through the 7 and leave that cut on the 14. He has to go for it. He has to just ride his luck here. And if he doesn't hit it too hard and just skims past. And that is perfect. I don't know whether he can dig in this cue ball enough and get any action to make the clip on the 8 ball. It's an awkward position, but at least he'll get the pot in the 14. Well, he has got the little chip on the 8 ball, so he has a shot. But the important thing with this shot is he simply has to pot this ball, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose the rack. No doubt about that. So it's a pressure shot. So he's calling it into the bottom left-hand corner. And it has to go. And that's a good shot. And that's a good reply from Acero. Worked hard for that. Got the little bit of luck. Got the brush through off the 7. And got position to cut that 14. And, well, it's went from triumph to disaster there. The break off in rack number 3 from Acero has ended up in a scratch. So Larry has, I think it's ball in hand in the kitchen in this game. So he has to play up the table. Table still open, even though there's a ball going down. Now it looks to me that Larry's committing himself straight away to the stripes. And he's going to have to get that pink ball on that top cushion. Oh, good evening, Slim. I've at least got 2 viewers now. So a little roll through. Take care of the... This is the thing. Take care of the problem balls as soon as you can. And it's a bit like straight pull in that sense. You have to... When you have the opportunity, you must get rid of the problem ball. You can't keep going and run out of balls and find a way to get to the awkward ball later on in the rack. You have to deal with it ASAP. So if you can get that 14, he can still take the pink one next. Well, he's come out for the 9. There's a lot of balls up there guarding the path of the cue ball to get back up the table, and Larry's got to be careful here he doesn't do something silly. He should have got rid of that ball even sooner than this. This could end up being the problem who doesn't get it dealt with, and once again he's come back up the table this time, and I think his plan is to leave that ball possibly as the last ball to get on the 8, and in that respect he has to get this side so that he can bring the cue ball back out to play that 8 ball. That looks like the plan, but well, I'm not convinced it's a great plan, because to me that's a lot easier to play that ball and roll through for the 8. So now this is the critical shot. He's going for what we thought he was going to go for, and end up taking that pink ball and bringing the cue ball back out and up for the 8. And he has to leave this fairly high, and that's now a problem because he's tight in the cushion and he's in no great shape here to get on this 8. He's going to have to ride his luck, I think, unless he tries to leave it long into this corner pocket. And that is what it's going to end up being. Let's have a look. Now, does he call it in the middle? Yeah. Going to go for it in the middle. Oh dear, Larry, you weren't lined up to that properly. I could see he wasn't lined up. You had to line that up to the far jaw. It would have dropped in. And that is the price you pay for not dealing with the problem ball earlier. And even so, it was a tight angle to get that into the middle, but I'm not going to say it, but I am going to say it. I told you so, Larry. You should have dealt with it earlier. The first chance you got, you should have got rid of that ball, and you've sold this rack to Acero, provided he can find his way out. And Acero is well capable of dealing with this situation. Now, could play this with a bit of inside English, this 3 ball, check the cue ball, take it back up the left hand side. Well, he's gone into no man's land with the 1 ball over the middle. So it's a little draw out, because those 2 balls, and well, he wanted to be over here. He didn't want to be playing this square, and this is where the ball start running. And the 6 has gone safe, and again, not getting yourself in the right position to start with leaves yourself ended up getting into trouble, and he's had to call the bank. It's a pretty good bank though. 9 times out of 10 you would get this shot. Needs to remember the cue ball though. Can't let that cue ball run away. Got to check the cue ball here to at least leave a shot in the 8. Now, what's he doing here? He's calling the 6 into. He's going to try and kick the 6. Well, I must admit, I'd prefer the cross bank from there. But once again, Acero has played another excellent kick shot to dig himself out of a hole, and that's 2 good kick shots he's played so far. So Acero has stolen a rack, but Larry sold himself there in that rack. Yeah, Larry's running out of chances to win these big tournaments, and well, he's got this 9-ball mentality all the time, Larry. You know, a lot of people say attack's the best form of defence. Well, that's not necessarily paid off in Larry's case in these big tournaments. And this chap that beat him in the first round, Marvin, I managed to drop in and saw the final rack, and I gathered straight away that this guy Marvin, whoever he might be, I think he's got a UK flag, but he's no mug. He is no mug. In fact, let me have a look. I think he's through the next round as well. Let's have a look at this bracket. Yep, he beat Larry in that final rack in the first round, and look at what happened in the second round. He actually beat Potman, final rack decider as well. I never even noticed that. And now he plays Mr. Strocum, and that is in a couple of days' time, I believe. And I might be able to get that one. It's 8 o'clock at night my time. But yep, it could be a dark horse, this guy. In fact, I don't think I've actually seen him playing in an online room. He's probably just an offline player, but he probably just likes 8-ball, and that's the other reason he's just entered this tournament. But anyway, Acero has scratched early on in rack number 4. Now remember, this is the one-loss side, so it is only a race to 9. And Larry has got a chance here, and he really has to take this chance to steal this rack back that he gave away in the last rack. Yeah, age is catching up. My eyes have gone. I'm far too tired to play and enjoy VP4 anymore. Far too tired. I mean, the problem being the hours I'm working and the time I have to get to bed, which is like prime time VP4 time, and I just don't get to play. The only real time I get to play is early in the morning on my days off. Like this morning, I got up about 6 o'clock and came online, and eventually Tornado Tam. In fact, he was there when I got up. In fact, it wasn't at 6 o'clock, it was at just after 7. And he was online, so I usually play him in 2 or 3 games of Cowboy in a 10-footer. And that's basically all I play nowadays. And maybe a game of Cowboy doubles, but that's about it. Any other times I'm falling asleep here in front of the computer like I am at the moment. Anyway, enough of that. You don't want to hear my sad life. We're looking to see here if Larry can deal with this problem. Now he's on the solids, and he's got the problem to deal with this 2 and 6 ball. Now if he gets this right, he can come off that side rail and run over, and he needs a bit of luck, and this is the crucial shot in this rack. Well, he's got the pot in the 2. Now is he going to stun this, or is he going to try to just drop it dead weight? Well, I don't know, Larry, but why didn't you just stun into the 6? He's having to call the bank, but I think you have to take the risk and stun into the 6. You couldn't hold it at that angle. And now it's another desperate bank. And this rack is over, I'm afraid. Larry's not familiar really with this table. And certainly none of the two players were doing any practice online. They only dropped in 2 minutes before the actual room was due to go up. But certainly Acero is asserting himself now. Larry's had 2 good chances. He could have been in the lead, but he's thrown them away. First one I thought was a wrong choice of shot. He should have got rid of the problem ball early on. He didn't, and it ended up costing him. And he should have played the stun into the 6 there. Didn't take the risk to do it. Tried to drop onto the rail with an impossible angle to hold the 6. And he's paid the price again. And Acero has opened up the gap. And he's also got a ball in the break. And this is what I call a nice break, because I was talking about the match last night. The match last night, that a lot of the breaks were very ugly. And very rarely do you get a break like this in this game on this table, where the balls are all nicely spaced apart. And once you've committed to the set of balls, it's all about just manoeuvring to find that path and that way out. And Acero is going to get the first chance at that. Well, I've always said that Larry sticks his neck out once too often, when a safety shot would be far wiser. I mean, it has to be right, because he's not won any of these big tournaments, and that can be a reason. Ended up getting beat on the Cowboy World Championships, ended up losing there, even though he scored the highest run in the tournament. He ended up losing in 3 fouls. So disaster befalls Larry in these big tournaments. He probably didn't expect to lose in the first round, but that's what's happened. And he's going a long way to dig a hole for himself in this match, but there's nothing he can do in this rack. Acero broke the balls, got a ball in the break, and he's done exactly what you have to do when you get the balls placed the way they are in that rack there. It's about finding your way out, and Acero did the job. And he's now got a 3 rack lead, and Larry is up against it. Right, I know what I'm going to do straight away. We don't want any rubbish from Stubb. We'll just shut him up. Well, what a table this is. Every ball in the top half of the table. So it's went from a nice break in the last rack to an ugly table again. Very quickly it happens. So Acero committed to the stripes, and well, he's got problem to deal with. Always problems on a table this size. Well, he can play the 11 and go for the breakout on that pink stripe ball on the right hand side. I presume that's a solid that's behind it. Yeah, it's a 1 ball, but he could pot the 11 and just play for the breakout and ride his luck. Well, Larry back at the table. Now, is he going to try and go between the 8 and the 3? He should just maybe drop this in. Yeah, he's tried to improve the situation, and he has done a little. The 1 ball is exposed, but it is guarded closely by 2 stripes. It will go from the side rail, but you've got to get there. And straight away Larry's thinking on how he can get onto that 1 ball. And he's not in an ideal place. Now this is his chance, but he needs to force this through. He's going to have to force onto that 4. Well, he's trying to leave the 4. Who's that? Oh, good evening, Gary. Yeah, well, I found out this match was on, and I'm not at work tomorrow, so I'm barely awake to be able to catch this one. So this is Larry's chance to run the 4 up the table and get right onto that rail. Now, he has, if he... Well, let's have a look at the angle he's got. What's he thinking? Yeah, he's just got to run right through. Well, he's playing it the other way, going for the cut in the 6. And this has to work out. This is where it can go wrong again. And it's very likely to go wrong. Those 2 balls... Well, he's managed to get a break. The 1 is visible. Now, can he get out onto the 8 though? I think he's going to chip that pink stripe. I don't know whether he can avoid it. And he might get too much juice into this, the way he's drawn this cue ball. Yep. Has he got the luck? Yes, he has. Well, finally, things have worked out for Larry in this rack. Took a risk with that 6 ball, but got a break. And he's got it back to 2. And acero breaks off in rack number 7. A ball goes in. Now, what would be the best set of balls to go for here? Well, the 14 does go, but once again it is guarded by the 5 and 1. The 9 is very adjacent to the pocket. The 11 will go once you clear the 9, or you can play a combo onto the 9. And it can take the 13 ball, which is the one up to the right of the red 3, and if he can, he might be able to find, well, he's hit it a lot harder to come up the table. He could have found a gap to take that 10 ball there. That 10 ball is the problem. He's not going to have a lot of choice here. He's trying to spin into this 14, bring it out. Watching politicians in reverse. What does that mean? Well, he can cut the 11 down the rail. There's enough on it there to get that done. But as I say, earlier on, again, he had a chance when he potted that ball to gently drop it in and find a gap to get that 10. Right now, there's a problem here, and it's going to be difficult to get on it. Seeing problem solved makes great pool watching. It's too late for me to try and work out that. Half my brain shut down at this time of the morning. Well, acero, is he going to be made to pay the price? You're welcome. Well, you're off tomorrow, but it's only like, what time is it over there? It'll be probably like 8 o'clock at night or something, depending what time zone you're on. It'll be round about that, 8 or 9. Now, it's all about when you get that chance. Larry's got a chance here with this 5 ball to stun it in and drop the cue ball over here. The worst thing that can happen is going to be in the 3 ball, but he wants to try and get rid of that 4. And again, he's leaving it, and he's leaving it. Well, he's going to try and drop the 6 in. That's tight. Gets rid of the 6, it opens up the 4. And now he's in good position. Oh shit, I forgot. I thought it was it's Gary C, not Gary B. I thought it was Gary Browning. Good evening, good morning, Tam. What the hell are you doing up at this time? I don't know. I was thinking it was Gary B. That shows you I can't even see. Half asleep here. Anyway, Larry's still at the table, hoping to pinch another rack back. Needs to get the nice little angle on this 4. Now, what's he left himself here? Oh, that's pretty good. Just draw off it. Needs to not get too much juice in it though. That's fine. Well, by the time this match is over, it's going to be what? The best part of probably 3 o'clock in the morning. So once I get to bed, I'll probably be probably won't be up till about 9, I would think. I learned some Italian the other day. Tam knows about it. I told him off a customer. The guy that walked up to me in the store and he said, "Danone bambino." And I hadn't a clue what the hell he was on about. With this new point scoring system that the British government's going for, that guy wouldn't be allowed in the country. He couldn't speak a word of English. I mean, he got off the plane or off the boat, arrived in Glasgow and decided, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to Tesco. And his opening line, all he said was, Danone Bambino. And, well, I think I sent him off in a wild goose chase. So Larry's got it back to within one. He's committed to the stripes. And it looks a good choice here looking at the table, because the solid balls, there's two of them locked up. And it's just about finding the way. Every ball that Larry's going for is exposed, and he should be out here. Now, well, the end of the story, Andy, is that when he said Danone Bambino, I just shrugged my shoulders. I said to Tam, just like an Italian defender after hacking a striker down in a box, shrugging his shoulders at the referee. And the guy sort of disappointedly made a face, and then I said, I thought for a second, and I said, baby food. And he went, and he sort of says, yeah. So I sent him down to the baby food. And then after about 10 minutes, once he disappeared, I thought, and then I realised he was probably looking for, you know, those little 6-packs of like yogurt drinks made by Danone. You see them in the adverts on the TV. Those little 6-packs of milk. That's what he was probably looking for, but I sent him away past that down to the baby food. So he's probably still wandering the store, because we're open 24 hours. He's probably still just wandering up to people saying, Danone Bambino. And then he ends up in the ladies section in the clothes department or something. Goodness knows what he's looking for. Well, this is not a gimme, for the reason that the cue ball, well, he's trying to play the draw back to hold for this 8. I think, do they not operate that way in the States? Is that not the way they run things in the States, that it runs in a point? Well, Larry's got the spin. Just managed to squeeze out. Yeah, like, you don't get into the States as a, you know, to move to the States, not work in a point scoring system, because that's the way the UK government's planning it. One of the level of points that you get is based on the fact that you can actually speak English. So Larry's managed to get the job done in rack number 8, and he's managed to square the match up. Got it back to 4-all, and what a table now. Look at what he's left here. He's hemmed in with no shot whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. Well, I'm glad to say I never saw Stubbs' pep talk, because I had him muted. Now Larry just playing the tip-tap shot there, just trying to prevent Acero actually having a shot. He can cut the 2. into that corner pocket. Well, he's looking around, but he's not got many options here. He's only got the one shot. He can just try and tap the 2 up the table and drop in behind the 11 and the 3 again, just to try and keep it safe. But he's gone all out for the pot and the 2. That's a good shot. Not got much luck though. He's got the thin cut in the 1, which you would chip the 7 ball. I'd be much more inclined just to leave these balls the way they are as a sort of lifeline at the moment. He's looking to play a combo from the 3 onto the 11 and just clip the 5 in. That's what he's looking at. And it's maybe not enough room to do it, but that's what he's looking at. It's very tight to get past that 6 and just clip the 11 and try and get the 11 as thin as he can, because that's the only way he's going to catch the edge of the 5. And he's played it well. How's his luck? Well, he's got the 1 ball. He's got the... what's that up there? The 3 ball. 3 ball on the top end of the table. And now he's still going to run into the 7. And he's going to play this with a bit of top so that he can spin through off the rail. Oh no, he's chipped it full ball and he's left it hanging. Well, all of these straight balls, they all go. The problem is the 10 ball. Now Larry can feather this in, this 12, and he might be able to just catch the edge of the 10. Although I don't think he's convinced. But again, Larry's not got a great deal of choice. He's trying to pinch the pocket here. So it's now going to end up a little bit tactical here. The 6 and the 14 are locked up. Although, in Larry's case, he can play the combo if he wanted to. Anything that hits that 15 ball, it's going to go in. And of course the 13 ball is very adjacent as well. I think that's the 13, the orange one. Yeah, it is. So right now, this table's lying a lot better for Larry, because he's got control of that pocket in the top left. Now, does Acero try and take a risk and find a way to get down there and disturb that 6? But he's not got a lot of options for him. He could have an attempt at it off this 7. He could spin off the side rail and bring the cue ball up. He would be unlucky. Well, he's tried it. He's tried it, and that has worked out not too bad, although he's got a difficult 6. He's got rid of one of Larry's balls, left the 14 over the pocket, didn't get the luck to land on the 3, and he's going to have to pull out another good shot in this 6. Now, if he plays it at the right pace, the cue ball is going to run up here somewhere. Now what's he doing? I think it's going to run off the side rail and come out. He might want to try and even play the cut in this 3 next if he can. Yep, that's exactly what he was planning. He was nicely on the 3, but it was a very difficult shot in that 6. So now Larry has the table at his mercy. Doesn't need to disturb anything, just needs to leave everything where it is, because when he pots the 12, he's going to pot the 10 no problem. Take the 11 right now. Well, no, tell a lie. Looking at the angle on the 11 wasn't great. Now he's going to take the 10. Now if he runs through far enough and goes too far, he can take the 13. If he goes far enough to there, he can take the 9 and then take the 11. So it's there's a good couple of options here for Larry. Now, he's finished in the worst possible position. The plan there, I think he had in mind what I was thinking, to run through, and if he went far enough, he had the 9, and he's finished in the most awkward position. He can still cut the 11, but it's just threatening to go out of shape, and he's got the 11, and this time he can gently pot the 9. There's plenty of room to get on that 13 from the 9. I don't know why he's not taking the 9, because the cue ball's running again. Needs to go far enough, and that will do. And he doesn't want to get too much juice into this shot here. Very easy to stun this cue ball into that middle pocket if you get careless. He's just trying to stun off the rail with a bit of spin. He's got a little bit of left spin on it. Got to be careful. And he's overcooked it by a country mile. And he's left the old blind cut on the 8. Now, what does he do? Does he play it dead weight? Because the cue ball's going to go threateningly near that top left hand corner pocket. If he stuns this, yeah, he's played a little drag, and that was eventually well executed there by Larry. And more importantly, the comeback continues, because he's now worked himself into the lead, and he's got the break in rack number 10. And what's more, he's managed to pot a ball. And it's another, well, I say ugly table, but, well, we've got a cluster of solids here. We've got the 7 in the rail, and we've got this cluster of stripes here as well. And there's nothing good here, no matter what choice you make. Of course, still an open table until Larry commits himself. But he's going to have to work out a way to move things at some point if he's going to try and continue this run. So Larry's made his choice on the solids, on the stripes, so now he can have a smack here and hopefully get a bit of luck, unless he wants to just roll through, because the 10 and the 15 will go. He's just played the little roll through. Well, I say the 10 and the 15 will go. The 10 will go. I thought the 15 would go, but it doesn't. But potting the 10, if he just comes back up to more or less where he is, he'll leave himself on the 14. Or try and move things again. Yep, just come back for the 15. Now, if he had a better angle... Now, what does he do here? Does he... I don't know whether... I think he can gently roll this in and just leave himself a choice of those two. I think there's enough there just to get this over the pocket and just leave the cue ball up there. So he has to just pop this pocket weight and no more to stop the cue ball running. I don't know whether he's convinced he can hold this, but it looks as if he can. Well, answers on a postcard, please, as to what Larry was thinking there, because that's ended up in a whole heap of trouble. Why he didn't just pot that gently and leave the cue ball. I mean, even there, even if the cue ball went to there, he still at least had an attempt at a pot. And he might see all his hard work going to waste if he can't get this cue ball safe here. What's he called here? Is he called the combo onto that 13? Well, he's missed all the balls. And what's more, he's did his best to break up the locked up solid balls, and for Larry's sake, he hasn't really improved them that much. But the old eyes are going, Larry. And acero's at the table, and he's not got an awful lot to interest him here with this setup. But it should be. Well, of course, that's a foul, not a scratch. So he's got ball in hand on the table. A scratch in this game is ball in hand behind the kitchen line, but a foul is ball in hand anywhere on the table. I didn't know that, or at least maybe I did, but I totally forgotten about it. Well, that makes a big difference, because acero can get the spin here and disturb things should he wish to. And that's acero's shot clock. His extension has gone. And of course, Larry's lifeline is the 6 ball, which is guarded by the 14 and the 13. That 6 ball is going nowhere. Well, it's all down to who gets the break on these troublesome balls. Both players have got problems to deal with. Well, Larry has done the worst possible thing there. He's managed to hit his own ball, but he's brought out one of the problem balls. Brought out the 6 for acero. And acero is going to have a good chance to break out that 2. Especially where the 7 ball is, if he can get on it and draw back. And he's got an immediate chance here to pinch that 7 into the corner pocket and just draw into the 2 and the 8. And he's got the break. And he's still got a shot on the 4, or get rid of the 3 right now if he wants. But if he can pot the 4, he can come over this side, try and finish somewhere in there. 2 doesn't go at the middle. But he's decided on the 3. We'll see what happens. Well, he's looking at the 3. He's not decided. But he's got a nice angle to try and go over in between that 1 and 2. Well, does that 2 pass the 8? I never even looked at that. Oh, you got a bus pass there, no problem. Never even looked at it. And that's a nice little shot. Perfectly weighted. And, well, a little draw off the 3. He wants to get right out into the table here. Well, he could have been better coming off the rail, but he's okay. Just pot the 1, cue ball does the rest off the side rail and out, and leave the 8 either into the middle if he goes a bit too far into the middle of the table, or just leave it long into the bottom corner. So it's going to be into the middle, and that's a good run out. Well worked out by acero, and it's going to get him back all square. Well, the fatal mistake was the reward, really, for acero's safety. He had Larry locked up. Larry went for the kick shot, managed to get a legal shot, but in doing so brought out one of the problem balls of acero, and as soon as he done that and acero had ball in hand, the rest is history. Acero managed to get the job done, and he had a bit of hard work to do in that rack to get that final breakout on the 2 ball, but he got nicely on the 7, managed to pot it, pinch the pocket, and draw onto the 2 and the 8 and open them up, and completed the job. And he's got the match back all square. Only a race to 9. We're on the 1 loss side. And the match is now an hour old. It's now 2:32 in the morning. GMT. Oh, well. Acero's got lucky there. I mean, the intention was to again draw into those balls to improve the 9. And he's actually opened a 9. But the bonus was actually landing over here on that stripe. And now the table's at his mercy again, but he needs to make sure. He probably wants to just try and run onto the 6 here and leave the cut in the 8. Well, he's played the stunt. He's still got the shot. Well, acero is rising to the challenge. He has stifled the fight back of Larry with 2 reasonably quick racks to get back into the lead. And the pressure is now on. It's so important on the break now to get a ball and give yourself a chance. And this table is not bad at all. There's a lot worse than this after the break. Larry's had a couple of balls in the break, looking to find the way out. That's what he's doing right now. He's just looking around the table and planning what the route is going to be. Now, what is going to be his last ball? I think it's possible that his last ball could be the 9 ball. And the reason I say that is if you pot the 9, you've got the 8 into the middle. So if he pots this, if he pots the 11 and comes there, he's got a choice. You could play the combo down the rail. There's options here for Larry. He has to make his mind up though. He has to be committed. Well, he's made the commitment. He's on the 9. He's going to have to pinch this a wee bit, I think. Just to spin across. He wants to try and drop onto that 14 on the side rail, I think, here. But the idea, in my thinking, was to leave the 9 as the last ball to get on that 8 easier. Well, he's got across for the 14. Now the problem starts, because the angle he's got in the 14 is going to bring the cue ball into the table. He has to be gentle though. He could lock himself behind the 1 and the 8 here. And if he leaves the 11 as the last ball, it's maybe not going to be quite as simple to get onto that 8 ball. So this isn't decided yet, this rack. Larry's in a bit of a dilemma. He can't make his mind up. And now he has to go all out. Get the spin and go over here. A little, in fact, I don't think he needs much. You might just need to stun this just to get over here anywhere in this area. And he's overcooked it by a big margin. Now he's still got the cut. He's overhit that in a big way. Pressure's on. He has to get this. And he's just got it in. Made it difficult for himself, but it's a good response from Larry. Gets it back all square, 6 racks all. Acero breaking in rack number 13. Only a couple of balls have gone in again. 3 balls have gone in at least. And this table is very nice. This is another nice break for Acero, because all the balls go. Whatever set you choose, they all have a pocket. And we've seen early on that Acero is very good at finding his way out. And this is odds on that he's going to run the table here. So, on the solids. But if he makes a mistake, Larry's going to have a fairly easy out. If he does get a chance. The only problem for Larry is going to be that 8 ball. But will he get a chance? Pot the 1, run over to the right for the 2, or pot the 1 and stun onto the rail and come down the table towards us for the 2. So he has a choice again here, and he's come down the table towards us, and that is perfect. Nice little angle on the 2, again giving himself a choice. Run through and onto the top rail for the long 8. Yep, it's going to be the long 8. I don't know whether he'll drop it into the middle. The long straight pot's a lot simpler, and this is good play here from Acero. And Acero has now got the lead again, and immediately the pressure stacked back onto Larry. Has to get a ball, and he's got a ball. Couple of balls have gone. 3 balls have gone. Now, another study of the table, a look at the lay of the balls. We've got 2 stripes and a 7 locked up. Now he can call the 10 and pot it. Now what does he get if he does that? Well, he opens up those balls, and that might be the shot. It might be the shot he has to play. because he's going to have to do something to get there. The solids locked up if he chooses the solids, and the two balls are locked up if he chooses the stripes. So I think he has to choose the combo to start this run. Got to be committed, and that is the right shot, because it's going to open up the option to clear the table. And that is still, let's have a look, what's he got here? Well, it is not that great. These balls here, if he gets rid of the 9, he can get the 11 into the middle. The problem's now having to try and keep the run going and make this thin cut on the 12. And the cue ball's going to run up the table. Does it avoid the traffic? Well, it's now going to be a combo, because he can't get to the 13, and he's going to call the 9. The problem with this shot, though, is not making the combo. The problem is where the cue ball's going, because he's lining up the pot to make the combo, and he's going to have to go that way to make that angle, and the cue ball's going that way. Well, he's played the draw, hoping for a bit of luck, and he hasn't got it. And again, locked out in the 13, and well, Larry has the odds stacked against him to win this rack. How does he get the cue ball safe to prevent acero from having a pot? Well, that is about the best he could do, because he's tried to block the pocket, which he's managed to do. But there's plenty of room to drop down here for that 7 into the opposite corner, and he's got the opportunity right now on the 2 to spin off the top rail and go over to the left. He's bound to have a backup ball if he doesn't get good in the 7, but now's the chance to do it. And that is not bad, and that's the problem ball going to be dealt with. Has to go for it. Well, it looks very likely that acero is going to be on the hill after the end of this visit. The problem will be just dropping onto the 8, but I can't see a problem, because he can drop the 5 in and just roll through on the left hand side. Well, he's gone a wee bit skew whiff here. He's just going to have to... Now, what does he do here? Because he's going to leave the high cut in the 8. That's probably the best he can do. Yeah. This is Larry's last chance, but he's going to get this 9 times out of 10 on this bar table. And it goes. Well, Larry now is at the point of no return, and unfortunately for him, it's acero's break, leading by 8 racks to 6. And he's got a ball in the break, and once again, these balls have broken perfect. There is not a problem ball in the table if you find the path. And Larry may well have played his last shot here in this 8-ball World Championship. Acero taking his time, just deciding what's going to be the best way to find a way out here. Still with an open table. And he's chosen the solids. He's going to get rid of that 2 straight away. That's the one that's isolated at the bottom end of the table. So that has to go now if he's got a shot on it. Now, let's bear that in mind. Acero looks as if he's going for the 7. He's ignoring the 2. He can pot that 2 right now, where that cue ball was. Is he going to be going to get another chance to get to that 2? Now, if he doesn't, then he's only himself to blame, because he should have took the 2 when he was there and had the chance to do it. And is that going to be the problem for him? Well, again, he's got the chance to cut it this time. He's still looking around, but he's got to commit to this 2 and take it out of the equation, because it blocks the 8 ball for a start. And he's now still got a shot, and it's a run through, a brush off the 13. He'll just chip the edge of the 13 with enough spin just to run through for the 3, and the match is over. 3 into the left middle, and 8 ball down the rail past that pink, whatever it is, 12 ball, and it's game, set and match to Acero. I think he's got a wee bit too much angle in this 3 though. Yep, that's finished awkward. Yep, there's objects in the way here. This could go wrong. Larry's last chance here. Can Acero dig this in and hold it for the 8? The angle's not good to do it. Yes, it is. He's managed to hold it enough. And it's been a great second half of this match, because Acero has held himself together with Larry getting himself back into the match. And he's come good at the end. Very solid performance. And he's won the match by 9 racks to 6. And Larry's got no complaints. The better player won in the end. Acero got a nice couple of breaks. The balls opened fairly well, but even so, when they didn't, he managed to get the breakouts that he needed and got the job done. Well, it's now time for bed, folks, if anybody's still awake. I'll have a quick look at the bracket, and we'll see how things shape up, because that is on the 1-loss side, and it's already updated. Acero is through. He's going to have a long wait now, I think, for his next match. And the next match, I tell a lie now that I think about it. The problem is tomorrow night the Celtic game's on in the Europa League, and it kicks off at 8 o'clock, so the chances are I won't be streaming this match now that I realise it. It's on at 8 o'clock tomorrow night when this match is due to start, so it's very unlikely, unless the Celtic match gets postponed for some reason, that I'm probably going to stream that now. Anyway, that's for another day. Thank you for your company, gents. I didn't think there'd be anybody online at this time in the morning. I'll bid you good night, and I ain't hanging around. I'm going to bed, but we'll see you again soon.